Hey writers, it's Megan and all writers welcome, and this is how to use a conflict map to get a bird's eye view of your novel and make planning easier, a whole lot easier. All right, so a conflict map is going to show your characters and how they relate to one another and where the conflicts are. And of course, you can also show where the alliances are, who's helping whom. Now, if you're not exactly sure who your characters are yet, don't sweat it. One of the things that the conflict map is actually going to help you do is determine who your characters are based on who you need to help advance the conflict. So I'm going to show you building a conflict map one step at a time using a book idea of mine. Okay, so the center axle is going to have in the middle my protagonist, and my protagonist is Effie. Okay, what I like to do is put her goal up at the top. Effie is an orphan. Her goal is to reach her aunt. And so I'm going to draw a big old arrow from Effie up to what she wants. And this is going to keep me really grounded already in looking at what my conflict is, because I know when she gets there, conflict solved, right? That's the resolution. Or if she doesn't get there, this is the path that she's on. In the case of my plot, I also have something she's running away from. Now, this is a book that is aimed for younger readers. Your novel might not have somebody who is literally pursuing your protagonist, although if you have an antagonist, that's where this person could go. But you might have, so I'm going to put down here, the police, because Effie is an orphan. And with her parents dead, she is trying to make it to her aunt, and the police are after her, you know, for her own safety, for her own protection. She's not a criminal on the run. Oh, there's Bradbury in the background. Kitty sighting. She's not on the run from the police as a criminal, but they're going to take her to a home. So your character might not have a person that she's escaping from, but think about putting as this bottom piece what is pursuing your character on a more symbolic level. You know, is there a trait or is there a fear or something that your character has to move away from in order to get to the objective? So this might be, you know, my fear of flying, or my fear of commitment could be down here. All right, then I'm going to start to put my satellite characters around Effie. And I'm going to start with the characters I do know who are a little bit more fleshed out, and then I'll move into the characters I know I need for my conflict, but again, who might not be even real people yet. Okay, so one of the characters I know so far will be Olivia, and that is Effie's older sister. And then one of the other people I know is a train employee. I haven't decided he's the conductor or he's somebody else, but he works on the train where these two girls start out. Then I have another character, a set of characters I know I want to have will be an adopting couple, a couple who want to adopt Effie. And these are kind of all of the people I know about so far. So I'm going to pause there, and now I'm going to put in what will make this a conflict map as opposed to just my characters on a big piece of paper. So all I need are markers in 2 different colors, and I'm going to make a legend up at the top. Do my legend in black. Okay. And since pink is kind of close to red, I'm going to make pink equal to a conflict. So where characters don't agree. And I'm going to make my green equal to helping. Or I'll just put, yeah, helping. Not very subtle, right? But what this is going to show me now is which of these characters are working together toward a shared goal, or their goals don't conflict, and which of these characters are working against one another and are going to come into some kind of conflict. Okay, so I'll start with just what I know. Effie and Olivia have a conflict because they're sisters. They fight about things. They also have different personalities, And what I know about Effie so far is that she is a risk taker and she is willing to put herself out there a little bit more. Olivia is more level-headed. So they often come into conflict based on their personalities. So I could also just write on this line what that conflict is about. So I'm writing sisters on one side and I'm writing personalities on the other. Okay. But they also have a shared interest, and that is that they're working together to both get to Aunt D. So actually, I'm going to make Olivia's line come up to Aunt D as well. Even though Effie's my protagonist, Olivia is a really important character, and she's got that same goal. So I'm going to actually just highlight these in green, draw a link between them, so I know that's their shared goal. Oh, that's green's really not showing up, is it? It's hard to see it. Okay, those are my green. So I know they're working together on some things. Then I'm going to go over to some of my other employees. The train employee is definitely a conflict here. He is chasing the girls. He sees them on the train. He suspects they're not with parents, and a chase ensues. Okay, chasing. The adopting couple is going to have both a green line for helping Effie because they want to adopt her. They think she's so cute. They're going to maybe buy her some toys. There'll be some way that they've met her. I haven't figured that out yet. But they're also going to have a conflict line because Effie doesn't want to go live away from her sister with this couple. She wants to go live with her aunt. Any place I've got both of these, I know there's going to be some cool drama. And this for Effie is going to be part external struggle and part internal struggle. You know, maybe what would it be like if she did just go live with this couple? Wouldn't that be nice? And she'd have plenty of toys and she wouldn't have to be on the run. And boy, she could get away from her sister who likes to boss her around. All right. Then I'm going to start adding in some characters who, guess what, are not even characters yet. And here's why. I love the conflict map for a lot of reasons. I love it because it gives me a bird's eye view. I love it because it shows me what I need from characters. You know, I need them to be in conflict about this or in agreement about that. Where do I need them to work together? But here's another reason I love it. It will inspire me to create characters not based on strong personalities. Like, these people are going to have some strong personalities and be interesting in their own right. And the police chief, I'm looking forward to. I want to make him a really well-rounded character. But now I'm thinking, okay, what other bumps in the road do I need? What other characters would help me create those conflicts? And so what I realized is I wanted to have, in counterpoint to the train employee and the police who are adults who are after these girls, I wanted to have an adult who is helping them. And my idea for my setting is Australia. It's the 1920s. There's the, British culture influence. And I thought, a tea shop. Who wouldn't want to write a scene that takes place in a tea shop? Oh my gosh, probably most people, but I would love to write a scene that takes place in a tea shop, and we'll probably describe the scones in so much detail and I'll have to cut it. Okay, so I know I want the tea shop owner. No idea what this person's name is, probably a woman, but I really don't have any backstory developed on that. I just know that person will be part of this conflict. And there's going to be helping here. So notice that as I'm doing this, if I know the nature of the helper, I know the nature of the conflict, I'm writing that in. Like, I know the nature of the conflict between Effie and Olivia. It's that they're sisters, that their personalities clash. So far, the only thing I know about the tea shop owner is that she's going to help the girls. And for now, that's enough. But what this is doing is this is giving me a scene I'm going to write. Now, conflict map, but these are people helping. How does that help me define a conflict? In order for the tea shop owner to help the girls in some way, I'm going to have to write in some scene of conflict. So it may be that this is right where somebody else is about to catch them. Maybe this is the train employee and he's almost caught up with the girls, and this is maybe even a tea shop right at the train station. Maybe it's their first step off of the train station, and maybe she's going to hide them right then. So even though this is about helping, can you see how that is actually helping me develop the conflict? Because in order to save them or help them in some way, there will have to be something they're running from. Okay, another character I realized I wanted to have would be kind of a foil for Olivia. for her to see, you know, Effie is kind of having in mind, oh, there's that adoptive couple. And what, you know, what would happen if my life were like that? How would things be different? She gets to imagine that. So I wanted somebody for Olivia to be able to do that about. And it's Australia, it's the 1920s. And I'm thinking either there's going to be a housemaid or a factory girl. And I haven't decided yet. I know that what I want from this character is for her to have a life that Olivia might think is appealing. And for the housemaid, that would be because, you know, from Olivia's point of view, obviously this is not the reality for the housemaid, but from Olivia's point of view, she lives in this fancy mansion and she has this uniform that's always perfectly starched and everything is so fancy, right? That's what the outsider view is. So that might be drawing, but maybe it's a factory girl who has independence and she earns her own money and nobody is watching over her. So this will be a conflict with Effie. Effie's going to be jealous of that friendship and also worried, right? You know, is her older sister going to go off and leave her? So I know there's going to be some jealousy involved here. And then I know there's going to be some kind of friendship, regard, interest between Olivia. No idea what that scene is going to look like. No idea what this person's personality is. But that is starting to give me a sense of my adventures. And so what I'm really doing as I'm building this conflict map is I'm figuring out which characters I need. I'm figuring out the kinds of scenes I need those characters for. Here's another one I wanted. What about sisters, or excuse me, what about orphans who don't have a goal, who don't still have hope that there's an aunt somewhere there who will take them in? And so I thought, oh, there's going to be a gang. And in particular, there's going to be a street urchin who's a member of this gang. So I'll just connect them. And oops, I didn't leave a whole lot of. They're going to have some kind of conflict here, and I'm not sure what it is yet. It might be that the street urchin steals something from Effie. But then there's also going to be some kind of friendship here where, again, maybe like the tea shop owner, this will be a character who has the chance to rat them out and doesn't. But I'm building in these pieces that will help me with my theme as well. Because, spoiler alert, I am going to have it that the orphan girls get to their aunt. Neither one is going to, you know, leave the other. And I haven't yet worked out my theme, but I know along the way, I want to show what are the different exit ramps they could have taken. Let's say, you know, like what if we just went and got jobs, or what if we just joined a gang and started stealing our food, or what if we let a couple adopt just one of us? I want to show those different possibilities and have the reader be satisfied when they get to the aunt that they have made these choices intentionally. All right, so this is my conflict map so far. And when I look at this, I already know, let me count the number of scenes I know. Here's one scene, because I want them to be on the train and get into some kind of kerfuffle with the train employee. Here's the second scene with the tea shop owner. Here's maybe two scenes over here with either the housemaid or the factory girl. Here are one or two scenes with the gang and the street urchins. There are going to be several scenes along with the way with the police officer. And with these, what I will probably map out is the increasing danger, right? So I'm going to have where it begins and then how things get worse and worse. And of course, my climactic moments will involve the police officer, and that'll be the greatest tension. Are they about to get taken in by the police? So this is potentially enough for me to, you know, just begin writing from if I already have enough of my sense of my characters, and I can go through and figure out, you know, maybe one of these is speaking to me as a lightning start, you know, a scene on the train that's kind of catching my imagination as a lightning start, as a place to begin. Or maybe I want to get, you know, map out that climax with the police officer and see how that looks. And maybe I'll try two. Maybe one climactic moment will be the police officer about to get them, but maybe that's where the adoptive couple comes in. Maybe that's the climactic moment for Effie to choose. Does she want to stay with her sister? Does she want something else? So this really speaks to my mind. If you are not somebody who loves graphic organizers, if this looks like chaos to you, A really, really simple alternative is to just make a table, which, even though I know it has a little bit of a graphic element to it, is way more linear. And what I would recommend is you have the character, so you do like the name, and then you'll do problem with, allied with. Super, super simple, right? And then you'll just put in your characters, right? So it'll be like Effie, problem with Olivia, and street urchin. Allied with, oh boy, this will look the same, Olivia, street urchin. Okay, and of course you can make this as detailed as it works for you. I better add in problem with police. Okay, and allied with tea shop. And you can expand this, and you can, leave yourself enough space to put the reasons in, or to put what the conflict is about. So your conflict map doesn't have to look like an actual map. If you found this, again, to be, maybe this appeals to you, maybe you like to have this kind of spatial organization. That's really powerful for those of us who think in spatial terms. If you're looking at this and it looks chaotic, or it looks like something you wouldn't want to use, make yourself a table or make yourself a bullet list. Just map out whatever that means for you. It doesn't have to be a literal map, but map out on one sheet of paper what your conflicts are, how people are in relation to each other. Maybe you like the idea of a conflict map, but you want to use fewer characters. Maybe you're just going to have your protagonist, your major second character, and your antagonist. And show how those three are connected. So there are really a lot of options here, but what the gift you're going to give yourself is to create, again, one page, a bird's eye view, something you can just glance at to remind yourself where you're going and why. Because remember, creating your, oops, sorry, the light is shining. Remember, creating your conflict is the core of your story. And does this tell me the order in which I'm writing? Nope. Does this tell me the order in which I'm writing? Nope. Although it certainly could. I could go through here and I could start putting numbers. This is number 1, number 2, right? I could turn this into an outline if I wanted to. And for those of you who really don't like outlining in a linear way, you might super dig this, like doing a mind map and then just putting your numbers on it afterwards. It really works well. It's something that really can appeal to the minds of those of us who like to feel a little bit more freedom and a little bit more flow. Use pencil, change it if you change your scenes around. Or put each of these individually on note cards. There are so many different ways you could do it. Okie doke. I'm going to stop talking so you can start writing. And I really encourage you to explore and play around with what kind of big picture view will let you know what you need to about your characters, the conflicts they have with one another, and the ways they help one another, so that you can see where everything is going, where it's all pointing, what the big idea is. All right. Happy writing, everybody.